Yo, what is up, everybody, man? It's Tuesday, meaning we have an announcement to make. As you guys know, we put out a nice little emblem on Twitter yesterday, and a lot of people were wondering, like, man, when are we going to tell everybody what the name of this freaking podcast is? And as you can see by the initials, it's DSP or DPS. Jesus, I'm tired.
How the first time you say the podcast name?
Listen, Sony, Microsoft.
I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna say
Microsoft got me under sleep.
Listen, wait a minute. You messed up too many words.
Microsoft got me in sleep deprivation mode right now. I didn't go sleep at 7:30.
Does that happen all the time? Because you mess up words all the time.
No, it doesn't happen all the time. The fact that Microsoft got me not sleeping last night is the reason that happened. But no, like I said, unfortunately, the D and the P and the S, all that stuff got mixed up. So whatever. But Slow-Mo, would you like to tell these people what the name of the show is? Because I might say it backwards.
Sure, Forte. I absolutely will. For those who have not listened to us before, this is Slow-Mo Backslap, and that is Gaming Forte, and this is the DPS podcast. That DPS, if you know gaming and you know games, you know what DPS is. If you play shooters, you know what DPS is. But for those uninitiated, DPS stands for damage per second. And so there you go. There you have it. It's the damage per second podcast.
And the reason we went with that is because we love shooters. We love games that implement that type of technology when it comes into the games. Plus, it's broad enough to be able to niche into other genres without it even being about gaming, because damage per second could be about the stuff that I do to Slow-Mo every day on this show. You know, I always inflict massive damage per second to this
DPS
man
on
every
you.
show. But guess what?
I'm about to inflict some DPS on you.
Slow-Mo's probably about to, hit max DPS on me in this episode, because he has a lot of ammunition that I'm going to try to fight against. So it's going to be very, very hard to do. But with that being said, man, welcome to the first episode.
Artemis said it stands for Department of Public Safety. Hey, look, man.
It might be at this point. It also could stand for Detroit Public Schools, because that is what it is here too. But it could mean a whole bunch of things. But
can you imagine that we decided to name it the Department of Public Safety because we're all about making sure all you guys are safe out there, and we care about everyone. We want to walk old ladies across the street. We want to get those cats out of the trees. We want to do all the and we ain't about that. I'm not saying we bad people, but we don't care that much.
So yeah, definitely want to shout out a couple of people. Kyler, shout out to you in the chat. We got Douglas Jasper in the chat. We got Def Floyd in the chat. My man Hustle and Motivate, thanks for stopping by, brother, as always. Man, Artemis, thanks for coming through, bro. So for real, Slow-Mo. For realsies. First of all, well, go ahead and say what you were going to say first.
So what I was going to say was today has been a very, very entertaining day.
Yes, it has.
Yes, and if you are not aware, if you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, some stuff went down at like midnight last night.
Well, it started at 10 o'clock, but then it escalated at midnight.
Right. So essentially, we got a leak of the Xbox Series S, codenamed Project Lockhart, something that we've all known has been in existence for over 2 years. About 2 years. But Microsoft has been acting like no one knows, and no one's going to, find out when they finally, we're all supposed to be shocked when they finally, announce it. It's like, nah, bro, we knew about this. We even knew the specs. We knew everything. So only thing we didn't know was what it looked like. And then when they showed it, when it leaked or what it showed, it looked like a speaker. It looked like it reminded me of one of those fast food restaurant speakers where you drive up and you tell them what number you want, and then you tell them to hold the ketchup, and then they put ketchup on it anyway, like that. So that's what it looked like to me, like that big black vent, which has to be there, I'm thinking, because this is pretty even though it's not as powerful as the Series X or the PlayStation 5, it's pretty new age hardware here. So essentially, they need that vent in order to get the heat out and keep the interior of the console cool enough so you can enjoy your games. But regardless, it looks ugly to me. But one of the biggest things that came out of this was the price, which is $299, US dollars. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, we got another leak of some sort that said that the Xbox Series X, even though this part hasn't been confirmed yet, and they probably won't confirm it until Sony responds, but the other part of this leak came from Windows Central, and they said that not only is all this stuff true, but the Xbox Series X is going to be $499, and that both consoles will launch November 10th, 2020. So now we got like way more information. People are up like at 3 a.m. tweeting back and forth. Everyone who had some kind of information on it was tweeting it out. Yeah, it's all digital too. And we got big like videos. The trailer, the announcement trailer leaked early. I don't know what's up with
pieces of the announcement trailer.
Oh no, that same leaker.
No, he put it out later.
Account,
yeah, he put it out later and said, I guess I might as well put this whole thing out. No reason to wait.
Yeah, and it's just like, how is it that everybody knows something about Xbox Division? The Xbox Division is the Titanic. It's just got holes everywhere. And it's just like everything leaks early. There's literally nothing that they're making that we don't really know at this point. I mean, the initiative, we know what they're making. They're making Perfect Dark. We knew Playground Games was making Fable 2 years ago. 2 years before they finally announced it. I'm just glad that now they finally just didn't wait a long time. They just they actually did a great job, I think, on the Twitter account, at least, on the marketing or, in dealing with this. They did a couple of memes at first. I guess they were just trying to wait out the official confirmation to say, hey, look, go ahead and just confirm this because it's getting out of hand.
Look, man, they were waiting to see how much legs it was going to have. Let me tell you, I was up because it happened at the end of Primetime Gaming, and we were like, holy crap, this just hit live right on the show at the very end. So we sat there as like, we just try to digest the whole situation. And we was like, man, do I want to make a video tonight? Do I want to make it tomorrow? So I started making a video, and I was like, well, I'll post it in the morning. Kid Smooth had posted his video, and we were looking at that thing jump through the roof because he was the first one like in the community to post one.
Oh, then I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the first one to post. Like he posted his, he fired up OBS and just started doing the talking head video. And I was like, yeah, man, that's probably what most people are going to do today. But then as we were finishing our videos up, I was in a party with Addict, and we were like, when we gonna post these? And I said, we post it in the morning. It's not going to get that big. And all the big streamers and all the big YouTubers are probably asleep. Nope. Every last one. Like, I swear to God, 2:00 in the morning, I saw Dealer's video go up. I saw Colt's video go up. I saw Zocker's video go up. I was like, are you serious? Is everybody that's on Xbox video go live tonight? The only person that did not have a video ready last night was Randall Thor.
He put his probably sleep.
No, he was in a party with us. He literally looked at it, was like, by the time I make this video, I'm going to get like 3,000 views because everybody put it out. I was like, stop lying, Rand. You're going to put that video out and get 20,000 in the first 5 minutes. But yeah, man, but it was crazy last night. And then the fact that Microsoft went out, I think they finally woke somebody up from PR or woke somebody up in charge of the Twitter account. They woke them up and said, bro, just go ahead and put out the assets because all of YouTube and all of Twitter basically knows this now. All the YouTubers are making content on it at freaking 5:00 in the morning. You might as well announce it. And they officially put out the tweet saying that it was actually a thing. And then the trailer got leaked probably 20 minutes later. The full trailer.
They should have did this weeks ago when the
They wanted to do it weeks ago, I think.
Well, no, they actually, I think they wanted to do this around months ago, around E3 time, around June, because that's where it seemed like they seem to have everything planned. But then from June, we've had so many things that came out early, and it's from them actually, like official, like Game Pass literature that says Series S on it. And it's a Game Pass, like free 3 months of Game Pass card or something, or the series controllers that leaked out are in the wild, and people actually have them. They were being sold. Like how? And that had Series S on the box, and it's just like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, how is this out? Like, didn't the people who put that together realize you didn't announce that yet? Like, does the left hand not know what the right hand is doing? I don't understand. So, yeah, it's just weird how that seemed to keep happening. But I just wanted to remind Forte of something.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So, I recall,
even though this isn't all over, but go ahead.
I recall that you and I had some conversations about some things, about some
heated ones
for next gen consoles. I was a little heated. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I remember you telling me that one of these consoles was going to be $600, and I remember telling you that the Xbox Series X would be $500 and that the Xbox Series S would be $300. And I remember getting all this pushback. And what I want to know is,
what you want to know?
How big is my W right now? Like, how big?
It's about 45% right now. You still got to look. It's only 45%.
How is it 45%?
Because Xbox hasn't officially announced that the X is it's $499. Hey, bro, we gonna take this. We gonna take these. Today. Microsoft and not. Go ahead.
And and I saw Larry Herb on Twitter talking about how they all need coffee because they've been working from very, very early, right?
Oh yeah. They've been up since like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock.
If the $499 leak from Windows Central was false, wouldn't they go out and clean that up as they were confirming all this other stuff?
Wouldn't they go out and literally just stamp in and put the stamp of approval on it and say, hey, well, I guess they got all the information, so we're just going to say both systems this price?
I think they're holding that back because they want to give whatever seeds of doubt that may be left. They want Sony to have those seeds of doubt. They want Sony to be sitting in their boardrooms like they confirmed everything, but the price of the Series X. What does that mean?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you on that. Look. In all actuality, is the W you're sitting on probably closer to like 90%? It is.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It's sitting at 90%, but this being your boy Forte and this being the damage per second podcast, we're going to try to mitigate as much of that damage right now as we possibly can until Microsoft comes out and officially says the
way
system
off.
is this.
You're not landing any of these shots.
I'm not. No. I said mitigate, sir. I didn't say right now. I'm not able to return fire. Let's be for real right now. Right now, your boy is sitting up here trying to throw on all types of shields and all types of different pieces of armor. Shout out to Avengers for not letting you be able to see that stuff in game. But he tried to do everything in this pod that's humanly possible to deflect as much as his stuff right now. But right now, you are sitting in a position of power, sir. You are.
Yo, Franco Tech, shout out to you in the chat. He said, come Sony, come October, come Sony October, so Slow-Mo plays Bug Snacks.
He is going to be still playing it. He's still playing that game.
I'm not playing, but no, I'm not.
Microsoft. First of all, you said that
developer or that game, but I have zero interest. Less than zero. I have -3 interest in that game.
The news is we're still waiting for confirmation on the date, sir. The date has not been announced.
There's no way that Sony is waiting till October to.
Microsoft ain't even announced the date yet.
Look, there is stuff like there was a website. There was a there was a
What's going on, Sir?
UK gaming media publication, their Twitter account tweeted out that Sony is doing something in regards to PlayStation 5 tomorrow, which they weren't planning on doing that before, but now that everything that's happened, now they are planning on
Didn't
doing
that tweet
something.
get deleted though?
They did get deleted because they weren't supposed to talk about that, and there's probably under NDA, and so they delete that. So I still think they're going to do something. They have no reason not to hold it back at this point.
They have about 30% reason
Sony,
not to.
I'm calling Microsoft's bluff. You're $499, and I'm gonna max you because there's no way in the world if they think that the Xbox Series X is going to be $500.
Franco Tech said, "I hope you're not talking about Foxy K UK instead of for UK media."
No, this was something like let me go find it, but this was it was something else. It was something giant something.
No, Artemis, yeah, Microsoft, it was announced by Windows Central that it was November 10th for the release of the system, but Microsoft only confirmed the price. If you look at the very end of that trailer, the trailer that got fully leaked out and released, it still says at the very end of that trailer, holiday 2020 for November. So we noticed it, and we already knew the system was coming in November because Microsoft said that in their cleanup press release when it came to the delay of Halo. And they were talking about how, Game Pass and everything was the things to look forward to for the system. So they specifically noted that November was the date that the system was coming out, but they still haven't said the date. Now, a lot of us believe it's going to be November 10th because there's a lot of great there's one very big game that is still releasing on that day, and you guys already know what it is because I love Destiny, and that game is launching its new DLC that day. So I'm of one thought that if you can't have Halo, you might as well have the next best thing, and it honestly might be better than Halo because the original creators of it is making it. So
yeah, Dizzy, shout out to you in the chat. Says the Series S video now says November 10th. I thought it did say that.
Did they update it?
I guess like I looked at a video,
when I looked at the trailer, it said November 2020 still.
On the Xbox YouTube channel, and I don't, maybe I just completely glossed over the date because I already saw the date from the Windows Central article. But to get to who the UK publication was that tweeted that out, it was Game Guildford, which I'm not familiar with, but people from the UK seem to know who they are, and they tweet us out at 8:48 this morning, then deleted it and said, but those awaiting pre-orders and have RYI, I don't know what that is, but please stand by for updates. PS5 have scheduled an announcement tomorrow, so things are about to kick off this week. #Guildford. So, but they deleted.
You said ROI.
RYI. That's what they wrote. I guess that's like another way of saying FYI. And no, it said and have RYI. I don't know what that means, but
I don't know.
That's what they tweeted out, and then they pulled it back. So it's potentially could be an NDA issue, or they could have their information wrong and they deleted it because it was in error. But who knows? Regardless, it is only the 8th of September, and they're not going to go this entire month with just Xbox having prices and them not saying anything. They're going to say something this month. The ire of the entire gaming community is swelling every day that they continue to not say what their price is. And I mean, at this point, I think it's pretty clear they're going to match Microsoft with the Xbox Series X at $500 American dollars for the version of the PlayStation 5 that has a disc.
The digital version. Yeah.
No, that has a disc. Now the digital version. You talk about that.
You talk about basically the original system.
Right. I think the all digital version will be $450. And it's not going to be, and I know some people were saying, I saw some people today saying they should try to match the Series S. And I'm just like,
not at that price.
Not at that price. Look, they already, I mean, there was a leak like I think late last
Talk
year.
about the price of the
The
production
cost
and
of
everything.
production, yeah, like
400 and
450 or something.
450, and that was before shipping fees and everything.
Right. So there's just no way they're going to take a $250 hit per unit. Like I don't think. I mean, like Microsoft, there are very few companies that could do that, and I don't think most of the shareholders of those companies will even appreciate a
What's
company
up, Racer
doing
X Gundam? What's going on, brother?
that. I don't think most investors of a publicly traded company would appreciate or approve of that kind of move when if you're not a Microsoft, right? Like a Microsoft can eat that cost. Sony, I don't think really has that.
No, Racer says legit question. Where does this leak put Slow-Mo's Bugslat live stream at? Did he dodge it? He is on the cuffs right now. As of right now, one company, it does look like Microsoft did show the price for the release date of their system. So as long as Sony releases the price of their system before the launch of the Xbox, he's off the hook. So he basically has until October 10th.
I'm thinking this time next week when we do this podcast on my we're not even gonna be talking about this.
We'll probably know the information by then at that point. But
I think it's gonna be out by then.
Yeah, but if the information comes out after October 10th, so that, and this is the cool thing, at least we have a date to know, what to shoot for. And I don't think we're going to win that one. That's 32 days away, and I don't think PlayStation going to take it all the way that far. But as of right now, yeah, it looks like he's going to skate past this one. But we can always find a way to make him still play Bugsnax. He gives us a lot of opportunities. He gives us a lot of opportunities over the course of a show to come up with ideas of making him still play that game.
You said make me play. You can't make me play a game. I'm
not. And the
Spider-Man
doesn't come out that day. Oh, you know what? Let's make a second bet then.
No.
The Spider-Man gets delayed. What are you gonna play?
You already told me what your goal is. So I'm not making any bets with you.
No, but what happens in Spider? What are you gonna buy? If there's no Spider-Man, are you gonna buy a PlayStation 5?
No, huh? What?
If there's no Spider-Man,
what?
Is there no Spider-Man? Are you gonna buy a PS5?
I'm still buying it day one.
If there's no Spider-Man,
then I'll play something else. I'm concerned that I might have a hard time finding a console, especially the digital version, which is what I want to get. So I'm just going to get it day one. Although I do think that Spider-Man probably will be available day one, but of course, like we don't know any of this information yet. This is kind of stuff.
Bet your life on it, Slow-Mo?
I'm not betting my life on it. You can bet your life on it.
I'm the one that's betting you.
Well, I mean, you gotta get. You know what? I can't be the one always assuming the risk in these bets. Okay, you need to. It needs to be a little bit of a give and take here. Okay.
Wait, is this the risk assessment podcast?
I mean, but look, hey, I did have some. Okay, let me tell you about when I saw the full trailer that leaked and all the information that came out, and I'm gonna pull up that actual because I took a screenshot of what they were showing about like the information on it. And so what we have here is that the Xbox Series S is all digital. It's targeting 1440p resolution up to 120 frames per second. Now, me personally, is that I think that we're going to very rarely see 120 frames per second games on this particular console. Like something like, I don't know, like racing games, like the next Forza game probably would do 120 or have a performance mode for 120 frames per second at like 1080p or something like that. What do you think, man?
I mean, we only have a couple games so far that we know that were announced that we're going to be 120. We know,
like Dirt 5 too, right?
Yeah, we know Dirt 5 is going to be 120. We know Ori is going to be 120. We know when Forza does finally release, that's going to be 120. So I think that's mostly it. I mean, as much as I do. Now, the thing is, are they going to have performance modes built into some of these games where they're going to be able to toggle between this? I
believe that would be the
yeah,
case.
I think that it's going to be a situation where 120. First of all, don't get used to that. Let's be for real.
I think it's
most
more
of the
likely
games that released are not going to be at 120. It's
you're gonna be seeing a lot of 30 and a lot of 60.
The only thing that's really interesting to me is the fact that we're finally getting away from that argument about the delta between different consoles, especially now that we know that the S and the X are going to occupy the same ecosystem. You're going to have people running at a significantly higher frame rate. And that used to be a no-no about 10, 15 years ago. It's like, you don't want to mess up the experience for other players and stuff. You don't want to give other people the unfair advantage. And I'm so happy that's finally going away, because I always thought it was like the most ridiculous thing in the world, because you have PC that's been dealing with that forever, and you don't really see that impacting the games over there. So consoles finally getting a chance to see it is something that I'm really looking forward to. But when it comes to like 120, you're not going to really see that outside of, a couple of games. Well, they did announce that Gears of War will run at 120. We do know Halo, whenever that does release, will run at 122.
I'm thinking like the multiplayer. Well, they said the multiplayer will.
They said the multiplayer, but let's be for real. Campaign type games, if you want an immersive experience, you're going to want 60 frames and the bells and whistles turned up to the max. That's what you should want.
Look, there have been plenty of PC gamers out here with their 2080 Ti's, and they got 4K monitors. And when they say, man, I'm playing 4K resolution, ultra settings, yada yada yada, they don't talk about the frame rate. That's because their frame rate was at 60 frames per second. Yep. And they can't talk about how they got triple digit frame rates, and there's nothing. No one has been running games at 4K 120 frames per second. That's why those monitors, those 4K 120 monitors, are so expensive, and that they haven't been widely adopted, because not many of these games, unless you're playing something that's really old, like none of these really common games out here were running at 4K 120. Like Assassin's Creed Odyssey on a 2080 Ti, you had to kind of play with the settings a little bit to make sure you can hit 60.
Right.
And Control is another one that people, like, if you had a 2080 Ti, you were barely playing at over 60 frames per second with 4K resolution. So it's going to be, and that's going to change within a year, within a month, with these new NVIDIA GPUs coming out. And of course, we're going to get to that later. But let me get to the rest of these features for the Series S. So they got DirectX ray tracing, which is something that's going to be new to consoles. And if you haven't, I know Forte has experienced ray tracing like myself playing on PC. And
oh Lord, hey, for real! Before you even start, so I didn't have, because I had a 1080 Ti. Rest in peace to the 1080 Ti. But I didn't have ray tracing. And I just purchased Control on a great discount through Steam, because $31 is way better than paying full price. But playing Control, let me tell you what you guys are going to experience with ray tracing. And we're talking about ray tracing that's better than what the 2080s can put out. 2080 Ti, everything on these consoles. There is points where you just feel like you're looking through a glass. It's like the sun is shining in this one area so perfectly that it looks like real life. And I was like, I'm running max frames, max 1440p ultra settings, ultra wide monitor with everything cranked to the max. And I was like, bro, if these consoles is doing this, you guys are in for a treat.
Control is the best example of ray tracing done right, because it's not just a toggle like in Call of Duty Modern Warfare that came out last year. And although that game looked beautiful looking game, great looking cutscenes, I mean the characters look real, it looked that good. But in the settings on PC, the toggle ray tracing on is just one ray tracing on and off.
Well,
and
there's
that's it.
three. There's three. There's three toggles now.
For Call of Duty.
Oh, Call of Duty. I thought you said for Control. Yeah, what's the name? Is on and off. Yeah, on and off for Call of Duty.
But Call of Duty, it was just on or off, and they only really did ray tracing on certain shadows or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they were doing it on, but it wasn't in like the entire environment. Control has multiple settings for ray tracing, and it gives you a because it has DLSS as a feature as well. And DLSS is machine learning, is NVIDIA's own patented process of the GPU learning about which pixels are missing and then filling in the blanks, so to speak. So you could have a 1080p resolution be upscaled with DLSS to a 4K resolution and have it look cleaner and better than a native 4K visual. But to not get into that too much, with ray tracing on Control, you have low, medium, and high, and then you have additional settings from there. I don't have the game on right now, but it is literally the most in-depth version of ray tracing I've seen in any game. And you can really look at the difference. You could turn it off and the game still looks good. But with it on, I mean, you can tell that janitor been really slacking that floor, because you can see.
That one shot, like the first time you run into the janitor, he's in front of the office door, and it's not even sunlight; it's the light coming from the office that he's in front of, going through the blinds of the office window, and it looks so incredible. I forgot to screenshot it. I was like, bro, this looks amazing.
Yeah, I stopped screenshotting so much in Control, even though I still do it now. Like I've completed everything. I don't know if they're doing a third expansion. I finished the AWE expansion probably a couple of days ago, and I don't think there's anything left to do in Control. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finally uninstall it. But
uninstalling games.
Well, wait. No, I need to finish all the side missions. I really enjoy that game. It's just a lot of fun. The combat is probably Remedy's best combat they've ever made, in my opinion. But yeah, that ray tracing, I still do screenshots even now. You know, sometimes in the game where there's like a particular section that just looks amazing with like all the settings on. And I have a 2070 Super, and I run it at 1440p. I haven't tried, and I probably would do this next time I play it, is lowering the resolution down to 1080p and then upscaling up with DLSS to 1440p just to see how different it looks. But just having it at native 1440p and DLSS medium with ray tracing high is just I'm running it at 60 frames per second, 1440p. So it's pretty cool. Now,
yeah, let me get this. Shout out to the Tactical Gamer. Appreciate you, brother, for the $5 super chat. The argument regarding which console will sell the most this fall is pointless. All 4 consoles holiday stock will sell out this holiday. Great show. Truly appreciate you, brother. Slow-mo, before I let you finish that, I've been saying this for a while, and everybody keeps telling me that, look, there's going to be systems sitting on Walmart shelves, and I'm like, okay, you find me when a brand new generation starts, not in the middle of a generation, but when a brand new one starts, that brand new hardware that just released within that last month is still sitting on shelves. It doesn't happen.
I'm gonna say this. I'm a slightly disagree.
Okay,
for the record, I have a 2080 Ti and I get 85 frames per second at 2% above 4K. Hey, Hustle, which game are you talking about? Just let us know in the chat. I slightly disagree with you and Tactical Gamer here. I think that the Series S it's going to be hard to find. I think when that Series S goes up for pre-order, you need to pre-order it fast, because I think a lot of casual gamers and people who I just want to give Xbox a shot just because, hey, why not? It's $300, right?
Right.
Are going to jump on that. But that Series X, I think when it's all said and done, I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of them on the shelves.
Oh, but here we go.
That PS5 digital and non-digital, well, not non-digital, but optical port one, those are going to be non-existent. the Series S is going to be non-existent. I think that Series X, you're going to have some people, because look, that $500 price point, now you're competing straight up with PlayStation, and you don't have the brand power that PlayStation has at this time. So there are going to be a lot of people who are still going to get that because they're Xbox gamers, and then but the vast majority are going to go get a PlayStation, and then I think I might try that Xbox with that Series S, because that's just like altogether, if I got both, that's 800, or they may get it a little bit later. Regardless, I don't see that Series X selling at the same clip, but we'll see. We'll definitely see.
I don't think it's going to sell. Well, it's foolish to think it's going to sell at the same clip. I think, but I do, and I will beat this drum forever because I've seen firsthand knowledge of it. In 2018, when Xbox had absolutely nothing on their platform and PlayStation was selling like gangbusters, and they also released that bundle that came with God of War, Last of Us, and Horizon Zero Dawn, and that bundle sold out everywhere. Like, you couldn't find that bundle, and people just wanted to buy PlayStations. But once all the PlayStations were gone, like probably 3 weeks before Christmas, I still had a back room full of Xboxes. And I was like, dang, I had like 60 Xboxes in my back room. And I was like, well, it looked like Xbox gonna have a hard time selling this year. And let me tell you, everybody was still looking for PlayStations. But the closer and closer you got to the holiday, people started buying what was available. And that is, and people think that's probably crazy. Why would you go out and buy a system that you really don't truly want? But at a certain point, you got to think that the world is a lot bigger than what people think. And I think that the fact that the Xbox One S, is definitely still going to be something that they're going to sell. But I think that's going to be their holiday system. I think that's the one that they're going to discount for the holiday, for Black Friday. And once those things are gone, they're gone. I think PlayStation 4, same thing. That's going to be their discounted system for Black Friday. $199 out the door. You get yourself a PS4, last generation hardware, be able to enjoy all the games that released on PlayStation throughout the generation. $199 out the door. They'll have some game bundles with it. Probably God of War or even Spider-Man could be bundled with it again. I think those will be gone. By the time when these systems launch, and at that point, these systems would already launch because Black Friday comes out 2 weeks after, 2 or 3 weeks after, if we go off to believe leaked dates, and Microsoft's data isn't leaked anymore, it's actually the truth. Mm-hmm. But if we go off of that, these systems will already be gone. And it's going to really come down to what's available after that. What's the post-launch going to look like going through the end of November and January? And I just don't see a situation where these systems are going to be there on Christmas Day, because people are going to buy them just to have something for somebody under a tree. And I think that works in Microsoft's favor. It doesn't work in their favor. It doesn't work in their favor long term, but it does this holiday. Okay, everything sells this holiday.
Forte. Your daughter says, I want a digital PlayStation 5. You can't find a digital PlayStation 5 all the way up until Christmas.
Yep.
You decide to go get her an Xbox Series X. Is she happy?
Is your pocket happy?
No, that's not the question I asked you. Is your daughter happy?
No, your daughter isn't happy, but guess what? How many people go out here to buy these systems, and they just say they want to. Okay, I give my daughter a list. I tell her every holiday, I say, hey, what do you want off this list? And they'd be like, oh, I want this. I said, if we can't get this, would you take this?
Get a list from their kids.
Yes.
This is what I want. I want this now.
If both systems are on the list, though, would you be mad if you really wanted a PlayStation, but you'll take an Xbox?
They want one. And if they can't find that PlayStation, they're not going to be happy with an Xbox as a substitute. That's not what they asked for.
What they're going to be happy for and what they're going to buy is two different things. See, this is the thing. You're talking about an edge case scenario. Those people that truly want that system will truly wait. But there are a lot of people that will be out here shopping that will just buy what is available. Right, people buy stuff that is available. You do it all the time, Slow-Mo. You say you ain't gonna buy stuff all the time, you still buy it.
After Christmas, apparently little Timmy didn't want that. He threw a temper tantrum. He picked up a brick, he threw it out the window. You know, here's your box bag. Let me know when you get a PlayStation 5 in, please.
Shout out to Keith J with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. I really wish Sony would have went first for a change. Look, man, I was with you. I thought this was been the opportunity where Sony would have went first. And I think if it wasn't for this leaked information from Brad Sams, Microsoft, we still wouldn't know anything. Now, it's a good thing for gamers because we can actually start predicting and preparing ourselves for what we need to spend, at least on the S when it comes to that price point. And we have a good idea that the X is going to be at the price point that they said. So I already been telling people $500 to $600 is what you need to have. That's it. No more than that. Just have that just for, even if it's the system's $500, you definitely want to buy a warranty on a next gen system because you don't want to be dealing with Microsoft and Sony when it comes to like sending stuff back to them. Take it back to the store you bought it at. But outside of that, man, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but outside of that, I agree. I really wish Sony would have went first, but I think Microsoft hand was forced because there has been way too many different leaks. I mean, everything from Pringo to Taco Bell to Game Pass being in it. Yep, Monster, Game Pass being inside the controller boxes that got sent out 3 months early.
The estimated retail price on the Monster.
Right. So Microsoft. Yeah. So Microsoft was planning on sharing this information early anyways. I just think it was just a simple point. Once Microsoft saw Sony not talking about it, they decided to play the game too. The only difference is Microsoft can't hold water at all. And all this stuff they always get leaked out. Every E3, every big announcement always leaked out early. And I'm surprised it took this long. But guess what? The longer you wait, the more susceptible to your stuff being leaked you are.
Yep, except for Sony, because Sony has been Sony has had.
They've been the opposite of the Titanic.
Yeah, they have everything tightened up. Let's get to the next feature of the Series X, which is variable rate shading. So now, if you don't know what variable rate shading is, it is it's kind of a rendering technique that was developed by NVIDIA. I can't remember how long ago that was. Was that a couple years ago?
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah, but anyway, what it does is, because y'all don't care who developed it, but what it does is that it increases the rendering performance of the hardware by essentially varying the shading rate of like a different region of a frame on screen. So it essentially chooses which side of it is going to look better than not, and that helps increase the way games look, essentially. So that's great that this is, this advanced technique that have only really been seen on the NVIDIA GPUs on PCs is now available on console. Which more features are available on console now too. But there's also variable refresh rate, which is where the hardware matches your monitor's
refresh rate of your monitor.
The refresh rate of your monitor, and that's a feature. I think the Xbox One X had that too.
It did. It did.
So that's great to stop, like when you don't have that enabled and you don't have that available. What happens, what you see a lot, is you see screen tearing. That stuff is annoying. Let's say I remember seeing it in the remaster of the Borderlands 1 Ultimate Edition or Collector's Edition, whatever they want to call it.
Game of the Year Edition.
Game of the Year Edition. That's what it was called. Man, every time I got into a vehicle and started driving, and that frame rate started, the frame rate started tanking, and the screen tearing at the top of the screen for like what was in the distance and coming closer to my vehicle. It was so obvious and distracting. And so like variable refresh rate helps prevent that from happening. It's like G-Sync or FreeSync, if you know what those are, or V-Sync that you see on monitors. So that's what it does. I think we got that super chat with it.
Yeah, well, go ahead and read that super chat, Slow-Mo.
So we got a $5 super chat from Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, aka Enrique. What's up, bro? What's up, guys? Forte, check your DM. Moving forward, every bet with slow-mo must be Bug Snacks related. Look, y'all ain't making me play this game. Y'all need to get this through your heads. I'm not going to play Bug Snacks. I have won this bet. I'm over here dancing because I ain't got to play.
That was the first tweet he put out. It wasn't even this is a funny thing. It wasn't even a retweet of the tweets of everybody releasing all this information on this game or on this system. His first tweet was, I guess I'm happy I don't have to scream Bug Snacks. I was like, what? The first tweet? That's the only thing you think about right now, Slow-Mo? Talk about Bug Snacks? You were getting worried for a while, bro.
I was, man, because I thought all this was going to come out in August. I just didn't expect it to come to September, and here we are. And it's like we still don't know anything. I'm like, yo, if it goes to October, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
It's only 1 week in October you had.
I was like, yo, I gotta actually buy a game I don't want to play just to live stream it for a couple of hours for the entertainment of others. Now, look, I don't mind entertaining y'all sometimes, but like when it came to Grounded, I didn't have to spend any additional money. Like I already had Game Pass. It was in Game Pass. It was just like, yeah, all right,
see you later, hustle, man. Have a great day.
To get a hustle, download Grounded. You know, let you guys laugh at me getting punked by ants and beetles left and right. Uninstall and get rid of it. It's like I gotta spend whatever amount of money Bug Snacks is, which is if it's more than $1, it's overpriced compared.
What is your problem with Bug Snacks though? What, like, I could understand the whole Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing because you really didn't want that from.
It's a game.
But what's the problem with Bug Snacks?
Fruit, and then the fruit becomes parts of your body. Like I have zero. I have less than zero interest in this game. That's all. Now, no shade to anyone who likes that game. No shade to the developer. No shade to Bug Snacks. But it ain't for me. Other people like it, enjoy it, and have fun. Cool. You know, it might be something my kids might actually like to, play.
You can play it with them.
No, but I'm not going to.
Gregor says, make Slow-Mo play Bug Snacks or have him buy a pink Scumcast shirt. Shout out to Luca for having that amazing merch. I will drop that in the chat for you guys. It's some really, really cool stuff. So make sure you go out there and support the queen when it comes to her merch she put up.
Hey, look.
But that's a good call. I think he's right, Slow-Mo.
Okay. All right. I'm bad at Grounded, but who's good at Grounded? Okay, like only people good at Grounded people who like survival games. It's like 12 of y'all, so stop. We do have another super chat. Shout out to BG Broken Games HDR. What's up, bro? With the $5 super chat. What number podcast is this, guys?
Wait a minute, BG, you still awake? I thought you go to sleep.
Well, yeah, I thought
you go to sleep at like past your bedtime, bro.
I found out today that BG goes to bed when the street lights come on. That's what I found out. He admitted that when the street lights come on, it's been ingrained in him that he goes to bed. Like his wife says, hey, BG, it's time for bedtime. And he just goes, he puts on his onesie and he gets in bed. And he's out like a light, and he gets up bright and early. He's real refreshed and everything. So I shout out to you for still being awake this Tuesday evening and rocking out with us, man.
What is the thing though? He probably ain't take no naps today because dog, if you look at BG video for this morning, my man is wiping his eye. You can definitely tell he just literally got up, probably didn't drink no coffee. Just washed his face off and got in front of his camera and started recording because he was still half asleep when he was making that video.
Today he was hustling today.
Oh yeah, no, he was out there in his bag today, man. Shout out to you, BG, man. You know you are one of the main reasons a lot of people make the content that they make because you kind of pioneered it for a lot of people. So shout out to you. But that was some funny stuff when you talked about sleep.
Happy anniversary to you and the missus. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'm pretty sure you can't go out to a restaurant or anything because of COVID and stuff. But
no, he said that they was going out to a fancy restaurant. It might have been at his house though.
Yeah, hey, look, you can have fancy restaurant. Yeah, you can. At home,
as long as you ain't. Hope you ain't watching this podcast while you still at it.
I don't drink coffee. That's for old people. Hey, man.
Wait a minute. You the one that said you got an old spirit.
Yeah. Like you might want to try some coffee sometime. Coffee is the lifeblood of Mr. Slow Mo Backslab over here. I got coffee in my veins right now. Let's we getting off track. We getting off track. Let's get back to. Oh, by the way, shout out to Salty's Gaming in the chat. And we got another $5 super chat from Double Bird Gaming. What's up, Boom? He says, showing my support, gentlemen. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, shout out to you, Boom. I was going to try to make it on your show, but then I stayed up to 7:30 in the morning making videos. So I didn't wake up to 3 o'clock. So shout out to you.
All right. Another feature for the Series S is ultra low latency, which I'm pretty sure they are referencing velocity architecture and all that stuff. But like they probably just didn't want to say that ultra low latency, even though I think a casual gamer don't even know what ultra low latency is. But regardless, that's great. That's great to have because
it's a buzzword for most people.
Yeah. Custom 512. This is something I definitely want to talk to you about. Custom 512 gig SSD. So that SSD is half the size of the SSD of the Series X, and half
the size of the Xbox One S.
That's true. That is true. Now, but here's two things I want to say about this. The first thing is something that we have to understand is that this is a next-gen console. And they have smart delivery, which part of smart delivery is making sure that all the assets needed for the console that you're using is all the assets that's there. What's up with Cyrus and all the spam?
It's already taken care of.
Taking care of that. So we see games on like a PlayStation 4, on an Xbox One S or Xbox One X, and take for example, what's that game? Call of Duty, Warzone, and Modern Warfare. If you own those games, good grief, like they're almost 200 gigs. It takes up so much space on your hard drive. But it's different with SSD because hard drives they had to put the same data multiple times on that mechanical drive because in order to speed up load
the compression rate is a lot better on an SSD,
right?
Way better.
None of that's necessary. So that's a lot less space that's being taken up on your SSD. So some people are looking at it, and shout out to Ash and Luke, you saw in the chat. Some people are looking at it like, man, 512, man, I already played Call of Duty. I download Madden, Call of Duty, and then maybe 2K, and that's all my space. One, that's going to get to my next point, but I think that's not that big a deal because the games are going to be smaller. The space that's taken up on the Series S is going to be smaller than what you would see that same game on the One X. Now, the other part of what I just said about this is targeting casual gamers. These are targeting people who are either casual gamers or they're going to use this Xbox Series X as their secondary console, which means they're not going to be having too many games on it anyway. So if that's the case, if you're a casual gamer that only plays like 3 games a year, you're not going to fill up 512 gigs. You're not.
Right.
If you are a hardcore gamer that's using it as a secondary console and you're only really going to play it for like some games, first party games that show up in Game Pass,
it could be a problem for people that get Game Pass though. If you're a person that's going to install a bunch of games in Game Pass, it could be a problem.
Yeah, but then I mean, look, I have learned to be a little bit more because like I have 3 different SSDs on my PC. I have 2 Samsung 860 Evos, and then I got because all right. So one is for my content creation stuff, all my YouTube, and
this is where all his money goes, guys.
Yeah, right. So the other one is where my where Windows is installed, and then I have a Samsung 970 Evo Plus. That's my NVMe SSD. That's generation 3. That is 1 terabyte. And that one is where all my games are on. So I could have gone up to 2 terabytes, but I was like, no, what? Let me just stay at 1 because I started to see when I had my games on just the 500 gig one that I'm like, yo, why I even care that I got all these games installed and I'm not even playing them yet? So like it started to get me more focused on finishing the games that I play and uninstalling them when I'm done with them and then installing something else I'm interested in. So I kind of feel like it ain't that big a deal that it's that small of an SSD. And then, of course, you got the expandable memory, which we don't know anything about yet. But I don't think it's that big a deal. What about you, man?
Is it truly a big problem? No, I don't think so. Because I do think the compression rate is going to be a lot better. I think Call of Duty being a 200 gig download now will probably be close to 150, probably 140 on that SSD. But it also depends on. It also comes back to like how much more data are you going to be adding to these downloads just because of the better fidelity that we have in games. So there's a chance that they could kind of just stay the same. But the best thing I always tell people is I think these SSDs are not going to cost as much as people think they are. I think they're going to kind of be in line with what we pay now. The only difference is you're not going to get the amount of space that you normally get. Like right now, you can get a 2 terabyte hard drive for $89 to like $79 to $100. I think these SSDs just going to be for like 1 terabyte. You'll probably pay that much, if not a little bit less or a little bit more. So I think
let's go drop down the price of 4th generation NVMe SSDs on PC too.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, and also you got to think that the price of NVMe's is dropping significantly because they actually put that out a while ago, like a couple of weeks ago, saying that these prices are going to drastically drop. So be prepared for that. And I think, you know, when it comes to what Microsoft and Xbox are doing, PlayStation is allowing you to use any NVMe in their system, where Xbox has some proprietary stuff. So I think that's going to be a little bit more the cost perception side of it, depending on what Microsoft's going to do and how Seagate is going to monetize that, and if it's going to be readily available. I think everybody's going to need at least one of these, but just be diligent in your downloads and your installs. If you ain't playing something, delete it. Get it off the system.
Shout out to Saltiest Gaming in the chat. He said there's a leak that the 1 terabyte cost over $200. Hey, man, look, especially considering that is a proprietary.
Makes sense.
Well, no, this is where I say that's a mistake for them. Remember how people took the Vita and the Vita having special SD cards that only could be used, like it was locked down, you couldn't use just any
stole
memory.
Them though, slow-mo.
Yeah, but then a lot of people didn't like that, and the Vita didn't sell, period, right?
But you got to remember, the Vita didn't have memory built on the system at that time either.
Doesn't matter if you feel like they
that's a big deal though.
Just this one skate, the product, and it's that much money. Then what if like Sony, because we know Sony is going to have like a number of different manufacturers of theirs, and that you can get it from, and what if theirs is cheaper? That's going to be a problem. They're going to have
it just depends on if they have to meet a certain spec though, because we all know,
definitely have to be a certain speed.
It just depends on this. At a certain point, PlayStation is, and this is why I really didn't put as much of a big argument into what the PlayStation's SSD is going to do, because I feel like both systems are doing the same exact thing. One is just doing it differently than the other. PlayStation is taking a more elegant approach to get to that point.
You just said both of them are doing the same exact thing.
They're getting to the same point. They're getting to the same point by doing. They're trying. Okay, the end point is the same, slow-mo, but they're just taking different routes to get there. They both are going to hit the same point. PlayStation is doing it just a little bit different. Xbox is doing it through brute force and power. They're saying brute force and power will still get us what we want. PlayStation, it says we're going to be able to allocate other things to the game to allow it to function and run even more efficient to get to the same part that we're getting to. That's why they can actually have a weaker system and still have somewhat the same type of performance, especially when it comes to the things that the SSD is going to do for them. So they're trying to do the same thing, but different. But the only difference is Xbox is going to price themselves pretty far out with these SSDs due to the price that they are making them completely for what their system, only for their system. You can't buy off the shelf ones to make it work. And any hard drive that you have now will work on your system, but they won't work and give you the boost that your Series X games will give you, or even your S games at this point. PlayStation, they haven't really came out and said exactly how that's going to work for them. They just said that you will be able to buy secondhand, third hand SSDs to make that work too. We just got to take a wait and see approach on that. But shout out to Power Man 4K with the 199 super chat. Destiny on Series S predictions, FPS, etc. So I'll answer that one real quick for you. I think Destiny is going to run at 4K 60 just because it runs at 4K 60. It runs at 4K 30 on the X right now. And the thing that people don't realize is the S is a more powerful system than the X. The only people keep looking at that 4 teraflops of power and say, well, it's less power. It's only 4 compared to the 6, but you're running an RDNA 2. And that is way more efficient than what we were running in when it comes to last generation, when it comes to just with the CPU that was bottlenecking the heck out of the system. We were able to still get 4K 30 on that. You're going to get 4K 60. Maybe Bungie might do 4K 120. I doubt it because they actually came out and said what they were doing was 4K 60. But I do think you're going to get PC level quality when it comes to Destiny on basically every platform for Xbox. And this includes PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 as well. But go ahead, Slomo.
All right. I mean, we'll see.
Well, what do you think? I mean, you said, well, okay. I mean, we know Division doesn't matter because that game is dead. But what do you think?
Why
I mean, you said, well, it doesn't matter. I'm like, okay, well, you
I was
tell
actually
me, what do you
playing
think?
Division on the public test server on PC last night.
How bad was it?
Well, I mean, look, the game is still the same, but they got this new mode called the Summit, which is basically like a horde mode, but it's like you're trying to fight your way up a skyscraper from floor 1 to floor 100. Okay. And I think I was on floor 36, and I was bored out of my mind, and I just I wanted them to kill me, like someone take me out, if I could jump out a window right now to get back to the bottom and kill my agent, I would. But it was just it's not in a good place right now. But yeah, regardless, I think Destiny's trash too. Anyway, let me get back to the last two features that are on the Series S, and then I guess we can move on to the next topic. But 4K streaming, media playback, which I mean we kind of figured that would be the case. It's all digital, so you're not going to be able to put like a Blu-ray disc in. But if you got a 4K TV and you're watching Netflix or something, then using the Netflix app or whatever,
which isn't true 4K, by the way, but whatever.
It isn't, but hey, they ain't gonna talk about it. That's way too much fine print here for this one little rate, promo video.
People don't realize your bit rate for a 4K Blu-ray is like over 180 megabits per second, and you get 4K bit rates for Netflix at 10. I'm like, what the hell? 10? It's like 17% worse, but whatever. Go ahead, Slomo.
And the last feature is 4K upscaling for games, which I think that's kind of interesting because that's kind of a new talking point, because we knew they were targeting 1440p, but they didn't ever say anything about this thing doing any upscaling to 4K. So I'm thinking if there's some headroom there, if there's some bandwidth available, if they're hitting 60 frames per second solid, it's not flickering, going down to 55 and going down to 50 and coming back up to 60, that kind of stuff. That if they got the available bandwidth and they can push it a little bit further, then some games may upscale to 1800p. This be kind of stuff that you'll see from Digital Foundry and VG Tech and those kind of YouTube channels that dig deep into that on these games, and we'll see. But I think that's a nice little feature for those who most people who are getting this don't care about 4K. I'm gonna assume you don't really care this does 4K or not, because you just want something that gets you in the ecosystem, or you just want to get something for your kid, or you're just a custom a casual gamer who just wants to play your Madden, play your 2K, play your Call of Duty, and not really care about anything else. You don't really care if that's in need of 4K or not. It looked 4K to me is what those kind of people would say. So it's not that big a deal to you. And I don't think that is a big deal for the target demographic at this, but it's a nice feature to have. What do you think?
It's a feature that I already assumed was going to be there. I mean, they did it. But then again, I shouldn't assume anything because PlayStation did something completely backwards when it came to last generation, when it came from having a Blu-ray drive to not having one in this generation. So I guess I'm happy that they're doing it. I just, at a certain point though, who really cares? At like when it comes to a game system, I've always been a part of that tribe where it is like, okay, this is just fluff to put on the side of a box for features, and I appreciate those features. I will be buying the system that comes with a disk drive because I rage at my wife every day when she has an Xbox One X sitting in front of her and she decides to stream through Netflix, especially when, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, when he passed away, she wanted to watch Black Panther, and I didn't even realize it at first, but I looked at the Xbox. I said, the Xbox ain't on. And I was like, this Netflix, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, how are you watching this garbage and you've got a 4K Blu-ray player right there that you can like watch the DVD on? And she's like, oh, I'm too lazy. So that's why, honestly, bro, that's why the S is going to sell as much as it's going to sell, because people are lazy and they don't mind, just installing their games and getting everything digital through their platform, and you might as well have a 4K player there in order to stream all their content. So I mean, it's ingenious. It's going to work, but I'm always going to be a component for having physical things for you to own, because I think most people don't realize how much better the performance of the stuff that you put on a disc is. But I do understand the other side that the only physical game I own in my collection right now is Destiny. And that's only because that game just sits in my drive and I never take it out. So I do get the allure of it though.
All right. Yeah, I think we pretty much crushed this topic. You want to move on to
the biggest question is, Slow-Mo, do you think, okay, so between what we know about the Xbox Series X and the S, do you think it's going to be the best value in gaming, or do you still think PlayStation?
It's absolutely the best value in gaming. You have Game Pass, which is an amazing deal that, whether people acknowledge it or not, you're getting hundreds of games that are fairly current. You're being able to download them and install them and play them natively on your device. You're getting first-party games day and date. Whether you play on PC or whether you play on an Xbox, or even with like being able to put it on your phone, you have all these features. I think the whole altogether, the entire product together is a great feature. Period. Now, the one thing that trips them up, the one thing that you always have to go back to, is that the quality of the exclusive games to that ecosystem are not up to par, and they still need to work on that. And hopefully with developers like Obsidian and Playground and Ninja Theory, that's going to get up there eventually. But as of right now, at launch, there isn't really much there to get people excited beyond things that you can't already find on the competition. And the competition has those games, and I think they got something that's a little bit more compelling. Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man. I said Ratchet and Clank.
Time out, bro. Okay, like time. Okay, look, man, we got to talk about this podcast thing because this is getting crazy. So Gregor just says, did he start to say Iron Man? I was about to say Iron Man, but I fixed myself. It's funny because, listen, we got the most informative chat in the business. They listen to every word we say, so I appreciate it. Lucas says this is because they own so many goddamn podcasts, they can't speak correctly. And I was like, this isn't true. And then you just do it 2 seconds later. Oh my God.
And Clank. So there is a game. There's a game with a tennis racket and a robot. That's the game. It's being made not by Insomniac Games, but Hey, look, man, look. I'm gonna try to damage control this as much as I can. Okay.
There's no fixing this, bro. It's no
There's an
fixing it.
actual game coming out on PlayStation. It's called Racket and Clank. Okay. It is a tennis game, and it's Clank from Ratchet and Clank, and he's playing tennis. Think Mario tennis, but instead of Mario is Racket. Okay. And then it's got like a host of other characters that are in this Ratchet and Clank Rifts Apart game, like that female linebacks and Ratchet. You can just play against all of them. It's tennis. Look, I'm telling you, it's a game that's coming out. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I think the lineup, although both consoles have a pretty sparse lineup, I think
you gonna stream that Racket and Clank when it comes out?
Nah, no, look, I don't think it's coming out at launch, but I mean, when it come out, I'll let you know. I think the lineup for Sony is slightly more compelling, especially with Spider-Man and Miles Morales. There are going to be people who are going to be just buying a PS5 at launch just to play that game. I'm one of them. So that's going to be. There's nothing that Xbox has that's a counter to that. Halo Infinite would have been that if Halo Infinite was coming out, and if it looked like a next gen game when it was coming out, then that would have been a great, head to head, which game is really going to come out on top and really be the bigger, like get the best reviews, and sales don't really matter when your game's in Game Pass, but just like have more of the mind share this holiday. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that. Now, as I said, the Series S, I said it earlier too, the Series S is going to sell out. Like this price got people who are just primarily PlayStation gamers thinking, oh man, like I think I might pick this up. And that is I always bring up this entire Series S thing, Lockhart thing, always reminds me of what 2K did with EA when they were competing against Madden with NFL 2K. NFL 2K was the superior game for years, but people were just stuck on. Yeah, it still is. But people were just stuck on Madden. Everything was about Madden. Madden. Complain about how bad Madden was, but they still pick it up and waited in line back then to play the game. And so what ended up happening was 2K said, look, we got to get people to even at least give us a shot. I think we have a superior product, but no one's going to know it's a superior product unless they actually try it out. So we're going to do this. We're going to launch 3 weeks early, and we're going to price that game at $20. So we're going to eat the cost of making this game just so that people give it a shot. Because why not? Because if we price it at $60 and no one buys it, we ain't making any money anyway. So at least we get the opportunity to get people in our, into our community and then realize this is a better game. The end result of that is that people realized it was a better game. And people was like, man, what is up with Madden? Because this NFL 2K is lit. This is what football should have been. And then the end result of that, unfortunately, was EA said, compete. We don't do that over here.
We don't do that over here.
We don't do that over here. We're going to buy this license and make sure you can't make no more games. But that is the response to a response to competition. And it was, if they didn't do that, I think the very next year, NFL 2K would have came out at the same price as Madden, and it may not have outsold it, but it would have competed a whole lot better than it was previously. And this is what you got to do when your brand isn't as strong and people don't want to give you a shot because they feel like you're whack or you're Xbox. I mean, I'm about PlayStation. I see casuals do that all the time. Like they really even know why people don't like Xbox. It's weird, but I think this is good. A good entry point to get people into the ecosystem, see if they like it, give it a shot, especially for the younger generations. They may actually like how the UI looks or how the games run or playing with a controller with offset thumbsticks and not symmetrical thumbsticks. Who knows? But they need to have, it's a good way to get people into your ecosystem because you gave them a product that's severely cheaper than what it should be. But how do you keep them there? You got to have compelling software, compelling games to keep them there. You can get them into the house, but if the party ain't lit, they're gonna leave. You know, like you can say, hey, it's a party over here, man. We got alcohol, we got a keg, we got all that stuff going. And everybody show up, and the keg is empty, and the music sucks, and ain't no girls there. They're gonna leave. So if the party ain't jumping,
yo, what's up, Vaccine?
Everybody is rolling out. What's up, Vaccine? And so that's just what you have to do, and they have to have the software available. And right now, I don't think they got that software there yet. So,
oh man, so tying up the conversation on this is PlayStation is still in the driver's seat, I believe. Until these systems are actually released and they're out in the wild for people to buy, I think what we're going to see this holiday is kind of par for the course. I think they'll all sell very, very well. They'll all sell out. What is it? What's the conversation going to be in February and March? Like I've been saying for the last couple of months, PlayStation has a stable of games that they can release that they've been talking about consistently over the course of the last 6 to 7 months that are coming to their system. Whereas Xbox delayed the only game that we know was coming day one that most people care about. And you can kind of say the same thing about PlayStation. You may not care about some of the games that they announced. A lot of people care about Spider-Man, though, and that is their trump card. But I think Xbox is going to be fine, most likely just due to the fact that they have this $300 system that whenever they can put it out there, they'll sell it. Like I said, the only thing that sucks about it is the fact that a lot of people are going to be forced into a digital ecosystem, but you don't have to. There will be an option for you to buy a system that gives you physical disc if you want it, and people speak with their wallet. And if that $300 price point is good enough for them to do that and say forgo the disc for forever for the rest of the time that they are on Xbox, then that's fine. I will say this basically states that everything going forward needs to go with you, because if you're officially telling everybody that all your games are going to be in this digital platform, when the next generation does start, no matter what platform holder you are, PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo, you're going to have to start carrying this stuff forward. This shouldn't even be a thought process now, because you're both releasing systems that are quote unquote locking you into an ecosystem that you can't get out of once you're bought into it. But Sloma, that was a really good bring up on that. But transitioning out of Xbox, what do you truly think this really means for PlayStation? When do you think we're going to hear about the price of the PlayStation 5? And what do you think about all these leaks of games being delayed and Spider-Man not being ready because they haven't shown it? Like you said, all we've seen is Ratchet and Clank, really, and a couple of other games in Godfall. But what do you think Microsoft, what do you think PlayStation's thought process is on all this?
That's interesting that people are thinking that Spider-Man isn't ready, but I thought the going narrative was that it's just a DLC off of a PS4 game. So why would it not be ready? I mean, they're just using all the same assets. So like, what is it? Is it all the same assets, or is the game not ready and it's actually different assets and actually a actual standalone game like Insomniac said it was? Now, I don't know. There could be multiple reasons why they haven't shown Spider-Man yet. I mean, if I recall correctly, didn't they not really show too much of God of War? And then like maybe a couple of months before God of War came out, we got this 9-minute gameplay reveal that was amazing. So I never really think that means anything when you don't see the game. It's just you haven't seen the game yet.
Right.
Maybe they want to not pull a 343 and make sure the game shows in the very best light that it's supposed to look like when it comes out. Who knows? But I think the reason why we've seen Ratchet and Clank more is that Ratchet and Clank is really displaying a lot of like next gen features that like the different like the I forgot. I already did a video on it. I forgot what it's called, but like the power with the rifts where you can go to different parts of the map, and like basically almost teleport there by using
you mean
the rifts.
Talk about the jump button that they just made fancy.
Well, it's
the fancy. It's the fancy.
I forgot
jump button.
the actual name of it, but it's the whole.
It's a
thing.
fancy jump button.
Like, stop slandering.
It's a fancy.
Ratchet and Clank does not deserve this slander.
Listen, Slow-Mo. Let's be for real here, Slow-Mo. I'm with you. The game looks fire. It looks impressive. It looks next gen. But as I look at
jump button, because
as I look at that trailer, listen. As I look at that, listen. As you look at that trailer. The only time you officially go through rifts, like and go to other dimensions, the only time they show it is when you're falling.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
All the other, listen, Slow-Mo, every ass one where you throw the lasso and you pull it and it pulls you into another thing, you're literally zooming into another point of the map where you basically just zoom past the enemies. You're in the same environment, you just go forward. So basically, it's a jump button. That looks amazing.
A jump button.
It's an amazing looking jump button
across an entire area.
That's why
it's a arena.
Slow-Mo.
Stop it. This is sad. Can't believe you just said a jump button. A jump button. So
it looks like a jump button.
Rewatch that.
I did rewatch it.
Going from one side of area where you're fighting enemies to the completely other side is a jump button for. Come on.
No, I'm saying they're basically replacing that. No. Look, there's an actual jump button to the game, guys. I understand that there is a legit jumper because you can dodge between enemy fire and stuff. So there is actually a jump button in the game.
We are not doing this.
Guess what?
I apologize to all y'all listening to this right now because this is ridiculous. This is not. It's not a jump button. It's
a teleportation button that takes you from one side of the one area to in the same plane to another place.
So that's. I'm glad you corrected yourself
so it's a teleportation button. Okay, it's not a rift though. It's just teleports you to another part of the map. I got you.
There we go. It's
okay,
still
so that sounds better than saying it's not a jump button. Okay, I got you.
Because it's not teleporting is not jumping. I know words are hard, Forte, but come on, I thought you knew the meaning. You could say the wrong word sometimes, but this is
what. Look, Gregor even said it. The movie Jumper was about teleportation. It was.
So
technically, think about it. Think about it. Anything, if you jump from, some people can perceive if you jump from one place to a way further lift away, that they teleported. Some people think the Hulk jumps across cities and stuff.
So the Hulk
Superman leaps buildings in a single bound. Like he might have teleported.
One of the Hulk's abilities is teleportation now. Is that what we're doing?
We're not going there.
Is that what we're doing?
No, we're not. We're not going there.
We shouldn't go there.
We're not going there.
Let me get back to what I was talking about.
DPS without having some slander going on. So
to answer your question, I think that within the next week, we're going to know what the price and release date is of the PlayStation 5 SKUs. I think we're going to know it by then. I think we may even know it tomorrow because they're doing something tomorrow. And now that Microsoft has kind of played their hand, now they should know, hey, look, they're $500 and $300. This is what we kind of been, waiting for. We've been kind of wondering how this is going to play. If they went at this price, we would go at that price. So I think now they already know what they're going to do based off of what Microsoft is doing, and so they'll really don't have any other reason to hold back. They can get the price out there, set a date for pre-orders, and just get this ball rolling. The sooner they get the pre-orders out, the more people they can get in, and the more they can, really get a full understanding of how much stock they need for that first shipment. So I think we're probably going to know in another week what Sony's doing.
Gregor says the Warlock's blink jump in Destiny is a teleport too. Just go ahead, keep going slow. Just keep finishing what you say.
You know what? You guys let me know. Can anyone in the chat teleport? Tell me, can you jump or can you teleport?
Well, it's a slow mo. It's a science. It's a science fiction type of thing. Nobody in this room.
How is it the same thing?
Shut up, slow mo. Good God. This is slow mo in his feelings, y'all. Welcome to slow mo in his feelings.
I'm in my feelings that I expected more.
You expected.
That's why I expected more of you guys. I really did
more from you guys.
This is so ridiculous. I can't do. I'm not even going to address it anymore. It's ridiculous. What do you think Sony's going to do?
I think Sony's just going to do. They're going to be fine. They're going to announce. I think they're going to. Unfortunately, as much as I don't want them to, they're going to announce the price and all the information at the end of this week, no later than next week. I don't want them to, just because of myself, just the fact that I want them to hold off as long as possible so Slomo has to stream this game. But ultimately, I'm not going to win that bet. Nope. So I think they're going to, they're going to announce all this stuff. I do think the system's going to come out at 500. I think what's going to be more interesting is what Xbox is going to do. Are they going to just come out? I mean, their price is pretty much already out there. They just haven't confirmed it yet. I think the more interesting thing is Sony going to take a loss? Like, how much of a loss are they willing to take? We already know just bringing the base system in at 500 is basically break even for them. How much are they willing to lose on that next gen digital only system? I think that's the more interesting play right there, because that's the system that most of the people are going to buy. But then again, PlayStation might come out and say that we don't have to lose money on our system because we're going to sell it regardless. I think that would kind of be crazy, you know.
I think that arrogance would be detrimental for them if they went hey, look, we're PlayStation, $600. That's that PS3 mentality. Yeah, that didn't work out very well. So I think they should match the Series X with their console that has the drive, and the one that doesn't have it, $450. Just keep it simple, and you're going to sell all your copies.
Shout out.
You'll make it up on software.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think just take that L. You're going to get more people that want to be in the PlayStation ecosystem just because of the games you have. And the digital system, for the most part, is going to sell the most. And if everybody is tied to your ecosystem, that means they're going to buy their games through you. They're going to buy PlayStation Now through you. All that stuff's going to be purchased through the system. And I think they're just going to make all their money back that way. But I don't hold anything from these companies and these platforms doing things that kind of don't serve what most of the gaming community wants to see. I'll just take a wait and see approach on that. But I do think that they're going to be all right no matter what. It just depends on if they want to be arrogant in the process of doing it. But shout out to Jose Cruz with the $4 super sticker. Appreciate it, man. That's a nice dog you got in that picture, man. Really like that dog. But
what's up, Jose?
But yeah, but that's what I think. I think they're gonna be fine. I think everybody here is buying a PlayStation 5 day one, no matter what. I have come to the conclusion that I am more than likely waiting on that 30 series card. I'm at a point where I think that it's going to be better to just wait to see what happens over the next 6 months and see.
You mean it comes to getting a new GPU?
Yes.
You know what? I'm kind of. I feel you on that, because initially when I first saw the video, I was like, "Oh man, I gotta get one." No, either a 3070 or 3080 is mine, right?
Yeah, sticker shot got you.
Yeah, but look, it's amazing. We can get into the specs and everything, but it looks great, right? But then it was just like, wait, hold up. Now I see leaked screenshots of the EVGA 3070 Ti, and I'm like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Then I'm hearing like there's a 3080 Super out there. Whoa, hey, hold up now. So like, I feel like NVIDIA held stuff back because they don't know what AMD is going to do, and then AMD has always kind of enjoyed, even though AMD doesn't have very much market share in the GPU market, that AMD was trying to they're probably going to have GPU cards that are better than the 2080 Ti, which is the best car on the market today, but don't match or maybe some of them might match the 3080. And so that's why, and then they'll be cheaper than the 3080 because that's what typically AMD does. They give you a better price value a ratio than NVIDIA does. And then so NVIDIA is kind of holding something back to kind of be like, oh, well, if that's what you did, we'll make a couple tweaks to this TI. And now that's even better. You know, so I think that's what they were doing. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably wait until January-ish.
Yeah, no reason to go out there and get stabbed on day one.
Right, exactly. I'll probably wait around January and then make my decision then, or unless these reviews really sell it. Look, like the reviews come out from like Hardware Unboxed and Gamer Nexus. They're like, yeah, look, it's everything the video said it was.
Yeah,
because that 3070 at $500 being better than the 2080 Ti, I'm like, man, look, I could take that and I'll be good for like 3 or 4 years.
Well, you'll be good way more than 3 to 4 years.
Well, no, there's a reason why I said 3 or 4 years, because I think that Xbox is really doing the cell phone model, but not a new piece of hardware every year, because that's unnecessary.
You think they're going to do a mid-gen again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they're going to drop new hardware they're going to do that every again. 3 years. I think that's what they look. They always say we don't believe in generations the way it has traditionally been. So I think that 3 years from now, in 2023, we're going to be seeing at whatever the equivalent of E3 is, them coming out with an Xbox Series T, like a Series Z or something, and they're going to say that Series S discontinued. The new lower end entry level model is the Series X, our new premium, and that has all the great features that AMD has been coming out with RDNA 3 and all that other stuff. All of that stuff is going to be in this new piece of hardware that's an Xbox Series Z 2023. Go buy one, $500. Discontinue the Series S. Series X is $300 now.
You say Series Z.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to drop something every 3 years. They said they're never going to lose the power crown. That's how you do that. You always got new hardware coming out that's better than what you did before, and you're always keeping up with the Joneses. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But as far as the NVIDIA goes and these GPUs, it's whatever I end up getting is going to be better than what the GPU side of what these next gen consoles are. I mean, it is what it is. My current rig is better than what you're getting off a console anyway. So upgrading really for me is that I would love to play every single game at 1440p ultra settings at well over 120 frames per second. I want that for every game. Now, I can't do that with a 2080 Ti, not for every game. I can do it for most of them, but not every. And plus, the ray tracing ain't that great on it. And the ray tracing apparently for this new Ampere line supposed to be way better. So that's my thought in it. I will wait, see the reviews. If they really confirm what NVIDIA is spouting off about, all right, I'm in.
See, I probably would be with you on that if I didn't have to shell out money for a card that I didn't want to buy because I was trying to wait like everybody else. I would have got a massive return on my investment if my 1080 Ti did not go out, because the price to performance going from a 10 series card to a 30 series is pretty incredible. But now that I'm stuck with this 2080, and it sucks to say you're stuck with something.
You're stuck with something that is superior to every GPU in the market. Not every GPU in the market. There's only worse than one GPU in the market right now.
Well, it's for the next week.
That's all internal, man. Like you got that itch. Like you're gonna be one of those people that'll be out there getting a 3090 for no reason.
No, not day one. Not day one. It depends. It's a lot of factors in play for it on that one. But I've been really truly thinking about it. It's like at a certain point, it's like we're just giving money to these companies just to get slightly. I mean, granted, it's not slightly when it comes to the 3000 series at all. It's measurable. I mean, we haven't seen any type of specs reviews or anything done from third party yet. And I know that stuff is coming. Digital Foundry probably already started working on that type of stuff, depending, because they already had GPUs in their office with the 3080. So they probably already have, specs of a whole bunch of games that they tested. They just can't put out to the day that the system, the card itself releases. So I'll be looking at their website like a hawk that day. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like at a certain point, it's like, I look at my PC and I'm like, I really don't want to put another $600-700 into you right now. It's like I'm at that point where it works. And at a certain point, as long as you're able to do the things you want to do, don't spend the money. And that's the same.
Hold up, man. Hey, did you see this?
What?
I'm seeing with this Xbox Seagate 1 terabyte SSD expansion.
Where we see his Twitter?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you this tweet right now. We need to discuss this because this is seems a little bit more than just some idle rumor that isn't true or could be easily disproved. It looks like off of someone's screen, and I don't know how they're seeing it. I don't know where they're getting it from. I don't know what that the UI of where they're getting it from. Is that GameStop? Is this your store?
I don't know. I'm not seeing the link yet.
I just put it in there. Take a look at
it. You put it in the what's in that chat. Okay.
So it says Xbox Seagate 1 terabyte SSD expansion. Xbox Series X is under it. Buy new. $219.99.
Oh shoot, that is GameStop.
Oh, words. That's so you're saying this is official.
Dude, that's the POS. That's legit.
What's the POS?
Point of sale. Point of sale.
So so you're confirming that this is what the price is.
I mean,
I'm not putting you on the spot.
That's what that says.
All right. So hey, look.
I'm on vacation this week, so I can't say. All I know is that says Xbox. It says XBX, which is Xbox X, Seagate 1 terabyte SSD expansion.
Well, y'all heard it here. Forte, GameStop. I said GameSpot.
That's definitely a POS. That is definitely the POS screen.
The expansion of the Xbox Series X for SSD, a 1 terabyte one, is over $200.
Yep.
So 2/3 of what the Series S costs. So storage. So this is definitely going to work with the Series S. Storage, for more storage.
Holy crap.
You're going to have to pay 2/3 of what you paid for the actual console.
Wow.
That's not a good look. I don't think that's a good price. I don't think people are going to like that. I don't think people look. Hey,
this person literally
you guys
said
know
that's
now.
not. This person said that's
learn how to manage your game installs better.
Delete your games, bro.
Don't spend $200 on this. Just stop installing all the games that you buy and don't play them. You install them when you're ready to play them, and when you beat them and you're done with them, you uninstall them. I'm telling you, it will help you get through your backlog better. It will help you complete more games per year, and you won't have to waste $200 on an SSD here. Because,
man, trading your hard drives now, the ones that you got, just to make that price cheaper. Holy crap, bro! Listen, man,
that's almost half with taxes. That's half the price of an Xbox Series X.
That makes sense, though. It's like I said, a standard SSD for 1 terabyte is about $80 to $100. You add the fact that this can only be used on an Xbox, doubles the price. And especially if it's especially if you're talking about it is the thing, you're talking about Evo Pro level type of speed, and we know how much you spent for your 1 terabyte SSD, Slow-Mo. So you're looking at a premium on it just because of proprietary.
Yeah, mine was like $150
$179.
It was about 175, but I had some Best Buy gift cards, so I got it for like 100.
So you're looking at about a good $50 premium on this just because you can only use this on an Xbox.
Yep. And it's the only one. Seagate is the only supplier of it, so there's no competition, so there's no way of getting a cheaper version. I mean, what we have to see with the PlayStation ones that PlayStation rates are. This is fast enough. It meets the minimum requirements to work on our PlayStation 5. We gotta see what the prices of those are, because if those are around the same price, then it's just like, all right, well, I mean, it is what it is. But if they're cheaper, if they're like $150, $100, like essentially what you're paying for these third generation NVMe SSDs, then man, they're gonna have to come off that price, because that's
well,
ridiculous.
I will tell people that is a legit POS screen. I can't get in trouble for saying that because I show people the screen all the freaking time when I show them the prices on stuff. But that's wow. If that's fake, that's a really good fake, because that is literally how it's set up. And $219. Oh, at least you could buy a 1-year warranty on it for $59.99.
T-Rock in the chat says the external 500 gig is $100. I've bought a couple. Hey, look, hey, T-Rock, earlier this year I bought a Samsung Evo 970 Plus, which is probably the fastest one that Samsung has available right now. I mean, they might have a 4th generation one out now. I haven't checked, but when I bought it, it was the fastest one that was available. It was usually at $200 or a little bit under 200, and I got it on sale. It was about like 160, 170. Then I had some coupons, or well, not coupons, but Best Buy gift cards that dropped the price down a little bit. But that price point is what the third generation ones were a year ago and earlier this year. Like the 4th generation ones need to come down for people to feel better about adopting them, because I mean, frankly, storage for your system should not be 66% of the cost of what you pay for it. That's like me building my own PC, and I spent $1,500 to build my PC, and then the price of my storage is $1,000. No, I'm not.
What was the price of Vita when it released? 300, 249. I know that 1 terabyte. I know that 32 gig version of that memory stick was $100 for the 32 gig one.
Yeah.
So this ain't nothing new. I mean, this is easily. I mean, if you look at the scope of this being for your S model system, you're almost spending as much for the freaking memory as you are for the system. At that point, you might as well just upgrade to get the better system. I mean, but then again, you're still missing a little bit more in gigabytes.
Yeah. But that still also goes back to what I was saying about the demographic that's going to be buying this. Like, take me for example. I'm going to get the Series S. I already have a powerful high-end PC. I'm a primarily game on my PC, but I'm getting a Series S because I have friends that game on the Xbox that don't care about PC. Some of them are actually switching over to PC this generation. They're not getting Xbox, which is cool. But I mean, that's their decision. But there are others who aren't, and some of the games that we play are not cross-play. So we had to make a decision, and my decision was I was just going to keep my 1X, and then I'll keep my 1X till it craps out. Then I'll go get a Series X. But with the Series S in play and $300, and it's a better, more powerful system than the 1X. Why that's $300, just drop down $300. I'll trade in the 1X, which then will make it even cheaper. And now I got a Series S. So, but what I'm going to do with that, I'm not going to have all the games I have installed on my Xbox One X right now, which is like I got the internal 1 terabyte hard drive that it came with a 2 terabyte external, and I have roughly 76% of that all filled up with games that I haven't at varying degrees of it. I haven't finished. I haven't really touched since I built my PC, but I don't need all that because I'm barely playing that. I only play that when I have to play a game and I need to play with someone else that's on the Xbox. That's it. And there are more and more games, I think, this generation. We're seeing it now with like Road Company coming out, Fall Guys. Wait, I don't think Fall Guys has it yet. But more games are coming out. They're launching with crossplay. Or if they don't have it launching with it, they're getting it eventually. Apex Legends is getting crossplay like sometime this month. Destiny is getting it sometime next year. All these games that are PvP or multiplayer games are getting crossplay. So it's the wave that's going to get adopted. I don't really need it like that, but for those few games, I'll get it for that. And frankly, I'm not taking up 500 gigs of SSD space with the very few games I'm going to have installed on it. I just don't need it. And I think casual gamers, like if you are a 2K head and all you do is play 2K every year and a little bit of Call of Duty, you can install those two games, and when the next year games come out, you uninstall the old ones and uninstall the new ones in like you do all the time. So it's just, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. But for those who are going to get this and the Series X and they want more than 1 terabyte of storage, I think some of you guys are probably going to be a little bit upset with a $200 price tag for it.
Look, man, I'll find this out tomorrow when I can find this out tomorrow. It's our stores have been closed since 8:00 here. Another thing you could do if you're on the West Coast, stores on the West Coast are still open for another 15 minutes. So if you're out in California, Arizona, and stuff like that, call your local Gamestop and give them that SKU number. And ask them if that's a real thing. You can actually find that out right now yourself if you're over there.
Number. We can give it to them.
We got the SKU number and everything's on here. If you get it, if you are in the West Coast, you can find this information out right now yourself because those stores are still open till 8 p.m. there. And
is that SKU number that 6-digit number?
Yeah,
and then like a parenthesis and the 80/0. Is that it?
Yeah, the 224-769 is the SKU number.
Okay, so that's the SKU number. Call your GameStop. Say, hey, look, man, I'm looking for this item. Say, here's the SKU number. It's 224-769. They'll be like, man, what? How'd you get this? And we'll be like, yeah, we got it from the DPS podcast, the Damage Per Second podcast.
Damage Per Second. No, actually. Damage Per Second podcast. But for real, though, like Dizzy said, this can be a fake. I mean, it's not hard to, manipulate, POS assets and stuff because they're pretty simple. But look, man, if this is real, this is crazy. This is literally half the price of the system at that point. But like I said, it also just comes back to managing your game library. These also could be placeholders too. The thing that's funny to me is I would think something like this would be pre-orderable. Like you would be able to pre-order these. But this doesn't have it doesn't show it says like it's available to buy. They just don't have them in stock.
Huh. Yeah.
That's the only thing that throws.
For it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that throws me off about it because you would think that pretty much everything next gen, because for the most part they keep a lot of this stuff secret. So the fact that this is showing, lets me know that either this is fake or this is a SKU that they put in. And it's a chance that it could just be a placeholder price, and they just haven't. But just not having a pre-order screen up for it, because that's most people that don't realize. Normally, when you get stuff like this, it goes through a pre-order stage. Mm-hmm. So before you can even buy it, it has a pre-order up. It would say pre-order instead of buy, and the fact that this just says buy is acting like it's already out. So that's what's kind of throwing me off from thinking this could be 100% real. So you think it might be
just a placeholder? Because I remember seeing
it could just be a placeholder.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing people talk about the in the UK there was a retail listing for the Series X, and it was showing it for $4.99 or whatever the equivalent is in euros, and they were saying that it had 0 in stock though, and that was someone who worked in retail over there was like, yeah, that's usually just a placeholder. If you see 0 in stock, then it's nothing. The price really shouldn't be anything to worry about. It could very well be, depending on how that company does stuff like that. Someone was just told to put it in the system and get prepared for the official thing, and it just put a number there. Sometimes you see 0, sometimes you see what people expect it to be or hope it is, and then you can see just like it just could be whatever, and turned out it could be right, or it just could be just there to.
The only thing that makes me think this could be possibly, I lean more on this being legit. That's a dirty POS screen. That screen dirty. Like you can see the dirt mark, not the dirt marks, but the COVID marks on.
Oh man, yeah, they need some Windex and
that's what I'm saying.
Wipe that thing down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because it's like, if it was Photoshop, I mean, unless you went through the painstaking, process of adding that stuff on top of it, it just looks like that's legit, man. That really looks legit. I'm just hoping that's a placeholder if it is legit, because that's a lot of money. But but me personally, all I'll be doing is I'll be deleting games when I'm not playing them. That's literally what you're gonna have to do.
Yep.
Wow, $219 for one. I mean, but the price doesn't surprise me though. I mean, the sticker price. I mean, it's literally just a shock of the fact that you just heard of a system that's 300, and now you're looking at a SSD to add to that system that is literally $80 off the price of the whole system itself. Yeah. It almost brings to, like I said, it almost brings up the fact that, are you better off just spending that money and getting an extra 500 gigs and just getting a better system? Because at that point, you're
at that point, if you're really that invested in it, then you might as well get a Series X. That it performs better if you're really good. That's why I think this is targeting console and the casual gamer, and the secondary system of a hardcore gamer that's more into PlayStation than Xbox, because they're not going to care about how much storage it is.
Yeah, this SSD is targeting the hardcore. People that are buying X's are the ones that's going to buy this. Literally, even knowing they're the ones that don't need to buy it because they got 1 terabyte. But I don't even think 1 terabyte's enough. 2 terabytes is what you want to need. That's crazy, man. That's a good catch right there, Slow-Mo. That's pretty insane. But look, man, it's been a really, really, man, shout out to you, man. Great episode for the first Damage Per Second podcast, man. I always love doing this with you, man, because you bring the best out of me, and I hope I do the same for you. But
of course.
But outside of that, man, before we tie this whole thing up, what you been playing this week?
This week I finished the AWE expansion for Control. I know a lot of people hate Remedy and 505 Games with the way they're doing that Control Ultimate Edition for next gen consoles. This may sound mean, but I'm playing on PC and it does not affect me. So I'm still playing the game. It's a fire game. I really enjoy it. Actually, I initially said I was going to uninstall it because I finished all of the main story content, the 2 expansions in the main game. But there's a lot of little side missions that I didn't finish. Didn't finish all of the missions for the Custodian. I didn't finish some other side missions and just kind of exploring the oldest house and seeing what else mysteries are available. So I haven't 100% of the game or platinum the game yet. So I'm gonna keep it installed, and I just enjoy playing. But the combat is just so much fun. So I'm gonna keep playing that. I've been playing Avengers. Haven't completed the main campaign yet. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, like the combat's fun for most of the Avengers. I like using Kamala Khan. I think she's a great protagonist though. I think that was a great decision by Crystal Dynamics to use her. I actually really enjoy the story, and I think they did a good job with nailing the characters and their feel from the comics, not the MCU, but the comics. Mm-hmm. That said, it's a buggy mess, man. It's just a buggy game. Every time I play it, there's another bug, and I'm just like, yo, it's gotten to the point where it's annoying. It's like I play Rogue Company, and their bugs are like endearing funny, cute. Like, oh, look at that. Like the dead body flies off the screen like a tornado picked it up. You know, it's funny. It doesn't really hurt the game. Every now and but except for every now and then when I'm playing glitch and that my super doesn't work. But the glitches in Avengers are just weird and annoying. One time I died because I loaded into a mission and I couldn't, even though I could run around, I couldn't attack any enemies. But they could certainly attack me, and they curb stomped me, and I died. And I'm just like, this is what is happening? It's like it's always a weird bug that every bug I've seen has not like repeated itself. It's like a new bug every time I play. So it's just that's a little bit annoying. I know they probably will fix it, but the core of the game is fun. Hopefully, when they introduce these new DLC characters, that there's like stories behind it, and they're not just throwing another Avenger in there, and you're just supposed to pretend like they were always there or something.
Right.
The Battle Pass stuff so far, you don't have to pay for the Battle Passes for any of the current Avengers, so I haven't seen that yet. As of right now, before the game came out, I said I will get it on Xbox. So with the guys on PlayStation, if Spider-Man was available at launch on PlayStation, he's not coming out to next year. So I said, look, why play it with poor performance on the PlayStation when I could play it right now with the same content in a much, much better performance on PC. So I chose PC. Now, if I still like the game and I'm still playing the game when Spider-Man comes out, I'll cop that PS5 version and I'll play it on there. And I don't care that I'll have to, because I have to build the characters up that I'm double dipping, because I've done that before. And if I really enjoy a game, I don't mind playing through it again on a different platform. But as of right now, I like the game. I don't love it. And I don't know if I'm still going to be playing it like in November. So far, I don't think I'm getting the PS5 version. I really don't care when Spider-Man comes out. But that could change. We'll see. And what else? Of course, there's always Road Company. I'm always playing that. I mentioned before I was playing the Summit, that new PvE mode in the Division 2. It sucks. And Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I need to get caught back up on it because I'm at the part where you get the title of Seeker, and you're supposed to go out into the world and like the main quest really starts. And I haven't played since then. That was about 2 weeks ago. So I need to get back to that. But I'm further along in Horizon Zero Dawn on PC than I was on PlayStation, and I'm always seeing updates, like at least on a weekly basis, to get it patched. They seem to be doing the same as far as Sony goes, the same thing they did with Days Gone when Days Gone came out a buggy mess, and they were dropping patches almost every day to get the game running better. I think they were doing something similar to that with Horizon Zero Dawn. Last time I played, it was performing way better than it was when I first played it. So it's I mean, we'll see how it goes. I really want to finish it and get into that expansion that apparently was way better than the actual main game. But that's what I've been playing so far. What about you?
Yeah, man. So I've been playing Control, started playing that. Like I said, the game is phenomenal. It absolutely sucks that they went in the direction of getting people to upgrade this game if they already own it, because I feel like this is a game that you definitely want to showcase your hardware on, because it looks really good, especially in ray tracing. So
yeah,
hopefully that fixes itself and they're able to start demoing that game and people actually care about it, because I know a lot. Like, I almost didn't buy it, and the only reason I did it because it was only $30, and I was like, well, for $30, I'm not really outraged, because that's pretty much cheaper than what the regular base version of the game costs, and I get all the DLC. So
yeah, and that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. You never bought Control in the first place. So you get the Ultimate Edition for $30. You're getting an amazing game with 2 expansions, and that's great. That's a great deal. The problem is that they locked next gen upgrades for console players behind that Ultimate Edition. And what they should have did was they should have said, if you have the expansion, because if you have the expansion, that means you bought everything.
That means you have everything.
Yeah, if you bought the season pass, you have everything. You got the season pass and the base game, you get the next gen upgrade. If you just have the base game, spend $20, get the season pass, and now you're going to have that next gen upgrade. I think nobody would have complained about that.
Nobody,
and they would have made some money off of it. But and they would have made money off of people who already paid for the base game and the people who supported that game that didn't sell that well from the very start would have got a free upgrade, and they would have got feel like appreciated for supporting this game, this developer that didn't sell that well. Instead, they got pissed off because they feel like they got spit in the face, and then they feel like they got slapped in the face with that statement that came out that pretty much acknowledged, we understand you upset, but go ahead and spend that $40.
Yep, tone deaf.
It's just like, what are you doing? Come on.
Yeah, tone deaf. Shout out to Tactical Gamer with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you once again, brother. Will next gen Microsoft first party be available on xCloud? That is absolutely true. They will be, because in that same press release where they were talking about, once again, it seemed like a lot of stuff happened when Halo got delayed. They had to reaffirm a bunch of stuff. So they came out in that same blog post that they were talking about all of the stuff you'll get in Game Pass. They confirmed that xCloud was going to be part of Game Pass Ultimate. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate, all of the games that are going into Game Pass will be available for you inside of xCloud too. And I think there's going to probably be some extra games that's going to be available in xCloud, because like Madden 20 for Xbox isn't in Game Pass, but it is in xCloud. So you might actually get more games inside of xCloud, because it seems like developers are more willing to let you stream the games because they know you're not getting the optimal experience. Right. And maybe it will convince you to want to buy the physical copy of the game that way. So it's a nice little way for them to kind of double dip.
I was shocked. Even EA did it with Madden, and that's shocking. EA did it. That means if EA did it, a lot of other publishers, developers might do that too. So yeah. Hey, look, great show, man. I want to shout out everyone that is listening now and will listen later. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We apologize for all the times that we said the wrong words. I still look out for Racket and Clank coming to a PlayStation near you real soon, though. And man, a great show, Forte.
Yeah, man. On my end, be on the lookout for that Black Panther game that takes place in Iron Man. So I guess, but shout out to everybody that was watching. Shout out to the inquisitive people in our chat, man. You guys are rocking it, and no matter what I always say, you guys always surprise myself, and I know the same goes for Slow-Mo. We picked Tuesday because it was like the only day that we really didn't have any other show that we're doing. So shout out to that. And we decided to go head to head with RDX, and we know that's a suicide mission because they had 2,700 people today. And Mikey Barr dropped in, and Major Nelson was in their chat, and Aaron Greenberg was in their chat. So it's kind of hard.
We ain't need all them people in our in our chat.
Yeah, we didn't need. That's what I'm saying. They had all those people in their chat, but guess what? When I came over here, all I saw was the love and support of the people that always come here day one, no matter what else is going on in the community, and I truly appreciate that. So, with that being said, man, this is episode 1. We will be putting this up on podcasts on different services. We're going through Anchor, so this one will get uploaded. As soon as we find out exactly what podcasts these are going to be filtered through, we'll update you guys on Twitter and let you guys know that, so you can know if you can't make it to the show or you just want to, show it to one of your friends and let them know what it's all about. You'll have an avenue that's not just video, it's also audio too. But other than that, Slow-Mo, man, great show. Next week, you already know the show will be on Mr. Slow-Mo / channel. tell everybody what you got going on for the rest of the week and where they can find you at, bro.
I'm going to have another video for Kingdom Bridge Spirits coming out before this week is up. I'm still working on that 40-minute Road Company video. It is
probably feels like 80 minutes at this point.
It feels like forever, but I can't wait to get that out. Hopefully I will have that out sometime this week. And I am going to do a live stream of myself doing the Mass Effect 2 final suicide mission, the final mission of the game, with the best mission design ever created as far as I'm concerned in video game history. It's going to be pretty interesting because I don't have everyone's loyalty, but I've run out of time. So some decisions will have to be made. So come check out that live stream. I probably would do it this weekend. But come check that out and watch me get some people killed. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, man. But yeah, be on the lookout for his stuff. Check us out tomorrow on Basement Radio Arcade Podcast with Enrique B. Money and Eric Jackson at 9 p.m., where we're gonna talk about this stuff all over again. But we'll be able to talk with it with some of our coolest friends in the community. So that's going to be cool too. Outside of that, guys, you have a great rest of this holiday week. Don't do anything that you don't want to do, like play games you don't want to, because time is precious and Bugsnax is only a couple months away. And I know Slow-Mo is itching to play that game, and we'll update you on that when it finally does come around. Other than that, y'all have a great week. We will see you guys next week for the next episode of Damage Per Second. Check you guys out later.
Peace.